It's day 11 and counting of the government shutdown, and President Trump is making good on his threat of mass federal workforce firings. On Friday, Trump's budget chief, Russell Vought, said reduction in force plans have started, with court filings saying the agency intends to lay off more than 4,000 employees. Now, that's in addition to the 750,000 workers expected to be furloughed during the shutdown.
It'll be a lot, and we'll announce the numbers over the next couple of days. And I must tell you, a lot of them happen to be Democrat-oriented. These are people that the Democrats wanted that in many cases were not appropriate. These are largely people that the Democrats want. Many of them will be fired.
Joining us now is New Mexico Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury. She's a member of the Oversight and Natural Resources Committee. Congressman, thank you for joining us, especially on a Saturday. I want to ask you, though, how long you think Democrats can stay united on this and on message as the shutdown drags on. Americans really start to feel the impact and start calling up their lawmakers.
Well, I think it's really important that, first of all, Republicans come back to work, because Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, has shut down the House. He has canceled votes for 2 weeks in a row, and he was refusing to bring his members back to Washington, D.C. And so it's really important that people understand that Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. And so it is in their hands to end the shutdown. So we're 11 days in. We know that in a few days, our troops, our civilian military, and many of our federal workers are going to miss their first paycheck. And I think the Republicans are going to really feel the pressure of that. And we're also going to see that people start receiving notices of what their insurance premiums are going to be in healthcare. And it's just not a sustainable position. They need to come back to work. They need to cut a bipartisan deal, and we need to reopen the government.
I mean, Democrats seem to think you have the upper hand in the shutdown messaging battle, holding firm on the things you were just talking about, Affordable Care Act subsidies being extended, et cetera. But how do you respond to the president saying he's going to focus layoffs on Democratic-leaning agencies or agencies that have more Democrats in them?
Well, first of all, let me say that this is not a game. I know that the Republicans are treating this like this is some sort of political gamesmanship, but for us, this is about human life and dignity. Access to healthcare is a human right, and we are fighting to make sure that millions of Americans do not lose access to health insurance and to healthcare. And so they can play as many political games as they want, but this comes down to reopening the government and addressing the healthcare for millions of Americans. Democrats are completely united on this front. And I think that, Republicans are going to continue to hear from the outrage of the American people that this is not what they voted for. It's not what they want. And they have the power to bring everyone back to cut a deal and reopen the government. Now, in terms of the mass firings, the president and Russell Vought do not have any special authority to fire any federal workers during a shutdown. In fact, it is unprecedented. I agree with your previous guest. And in fact, there was a preemptive lawsuit filed by the unions the day before the shutdown, illustrating all of the ways in which they do not have the authority to do these mass firings. And if they think that this is a threat that they can hold American people hostage over, they've got another thing coming.
I want to talk a little bit more about those Obamacare extensions, because you are getting some Republicans who are pushing for a one-year extension of those tax credits, including an unlikely usual Trump ally, and that's Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She broke with Trump and the GOP on a couple of issues in recent months, calling the situation in Gaza a genocide and signing on to the discharge position to release the Epstein files. I want to play an exchange between you two during a DOJ subcommittee hearing back in June.
I'm the chair of this committee.
That's not how
I'm
parliamentary procedure works.
You're not recognized, Ms. Stanbury.
You're not recognized either. You can't just speak anytime you want.
I'm the chair of this committee.
That's not how it works.
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized.
Chairwoman, that is not how
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized.
All day, but that's not how
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized.
We're going to get you a Roberts
Ms. Stansbury, you're not.
A point of order.
Ms. Stansbury, you're not recognized.
Capitol Hill. All right. With that in mind, I want to know what you make of her staking out positions that are sometimes more aligned with Democrats.
Hey, you know what? If somebody's on the right side of an issue, I'm all for it. And the fact that she has had the only backbone we've seen so far in this battle to go on national television with the press and say, Republicans caused the shutdown. Her leadership is the people who are perpetrating it, and that they created a problem by breaking the Affordable Care Act and their big ugly bill, and it's going to affect millions of Americans. She is 100% correct, and I fully support the position that she's staked out. So I'll just say this, I'm proud of her.
I also want to ask you, House Speaker Mike Johnson's refusal to call the House back in session has stalled the swearing in of Democratic Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva. Grijalva won an Arizona special election over 2 weeks ago and is this crucial 218th signature on the petition to force a vote to release the Epstein files. I mean, we were just talking about the Epstein files. Johnson blames the government shutdown for that delay. What do you say to that?
I mean, come on. Mr. Speaker, you literally control the House. You control the floor schedule. There have been multiple pro forma sessions since the shutdown started 11 days ago. 3 Republican members of Congress have been sworn in during pro forma sessions. He is refusing to swear her in, and he blatantly lies to the American people and gets on national television and says he can't do anything until the shutdown's over. Well, it is completely in his court to bring the House back, to bring his members back, to reopen Congress, to get the votes going again, and to swear in Adelita. And let me just say this. We have already subpoenaed the Epstein files, and the president is not complying with the subpoena. And so he can't hide from this forever. She will be sworn in. She will be that 218th signature, and our investigation will continue.
Congresswoman, this is not our first shutdown, but it could be a long one. How long do you think this is going to last?
You know, that is fully within the Republicans' power. I was working at the Office of Management and Budget during the Obama administration when that shutdown happened. But here's the thing that is fundamentally different. If you want a bipartisan pathway forward to reopen the government, you have to physically be there working, talking, negotiating. And the fact that Republicans are refusing to even bring their members back to have those conversations, and in fact, they're silencing them. They're telling them, don't talk to the media, don't do anything stupid, don't ruin the message, indicates to us that they want this shutdown. They think they can leverage and hold the American people hostage and federal workers, and that they are unwilling to take basic action to get us out of this. So, you know, that's why it's really important that Americans speak up, speak out, call your member of Congress, and track them down if they haven't showed up to Washington. We're going back next week. Every Democrat in the House will be back next week because we're there to fight for the American people.